Welcome to Decarbonize, as I channel Peter Zion while I talk about testing new technologies on the beach in Newport, Oregon, where the Pacific meets North America. Looking at the ocean, you can see one of the great untapped renewable resources, wave power. Many of us have stood on the edge of the ocean and felt the power of the waves rushing against our legs. The motion can drive a generator and make electricity that can be used to power our grid. Companies have been trying to develop wave-powered generators for decades. The energy in waves is quite remarkable, more than you might imagine, and could theoretically provide over 60% of the electricity generated in the US. It is more consistent than wind and solar, reducing the need for batteries. Many cities and coastal communities are located near sites of great renewable wave power, like Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Lisbon. So there's a reduced need for long transmission lines. Also, many isolated communities like those in the Aleutian Islands of Alaska with very expensive electricity could benefit from wave power. At some point, I'll make a video on the different ideas on how to capture wave power. But this episode is on the role of testing sites in accelerating this technology. The sea can be a harsh mistress. Obviously, there's a lot of energy in waves, or we wouldn't be out there. But that energy can also break things. Salt water is corrosive, making the material choices more difficult and expensive. So you can't set up a maintenance shack right next to your resources. You need a boat to get out there. And if you're testing at sea, you need permits that can be difficult to get, and you need to run power and data cables out to the site. This can take years and millions of dollars. But this is a problem that the government can help, and they actually do. Scale models can be tested quickly and affordably in indoor wave tanks. The National Renewable Energy Lab in Colorado in the US and the Lear facility in Cork, Ireland are some examples of facilities with these wave tanks. You can test a dozen different ideas in a single day, something that's impossible at sea. You can also deal with conditions exactly what you want rather than what the ocean offers up. One of the nice things about testing in a tank is if your device sinks, you can just reach in and pull it up. I once invested in a company trying to develop a wave power device, and the apparatus sank when they went to test it at sea. Maybe more time in the wave tank would have saved the company and its invention from going under. But once you've got something working in the lab, you need to test it against the real world, at sea. But to test at sea, you need a site that's permitted and ready for testing, which can take years and millions of dollars. PacWave North, located off the coast just a few miles from here, is just such a site, where a company can test a prototype that leverages what they learned in the wave tanks, but bigger and ready to face the sea. This site was developed by the federal government in partnership with Oregon State University and provides the resources to test in a more realistic setting. So instead of every company individually getting the permits and laying down the data lines, they can just work with PacWave and get their prototypes tested. There are other similar test sites, including one in Hawaii run by the US Navy and one near Galway, Ireland, managed by Smart Bay. These facilities are for testing scale models in realistic environments. PacWave is building a new facility just to the south of here, several miles further out to sea. PacWave South is being developed for testing full-scale commercial devices subject to the full force of the ocean and should be open by 2025. Personally, I think this kind of support is more interesting and more important than grants and tax incentives that are usually given. This is actually something that makes the development process happen faster, saving the company money by creating an efficiency of scale by using the same place to test multiple designs from different companies. All companies benefit from this, not just those that get a grant. Having sites with different wave condition allows for the testing of designs that are optimized for a variety of conditions. So far, nobody has landed the big fish of a commercially viable wave power generator. There are lots of exciting work happening in the field, and I look forward to covering that in a future video. If you learned something, Please like and subscribe. And please share this video with anyone you know who has felt the force of the ocean against their legs.